Two Wyoming police officers are on paid administrative leave while Kent County detectives investigate what led up to those officers firing their weapons at a suspect this morning.
The officers were responding to a domestic disturbance call just after 1 this morning at Timber Ridge Apartments on 44th near Byron Center.
24 Hour News 8's Joe LaFergie is live at the Sheriff's Department tonight with what he's learned about this case. Joe.
Yeah, Brian, nobody was injured in those shots being fired. Those officers on paid administrative leave, of course, part of standard procedure. Anytime an officer shoots their weapon, investigators won't be able to talk to those officers for at least another day. That, too, part of standard procedure.
Broken glass from the front door of building 4330 at the Timber Ridge complex is the most visible sign from this morning's trouble. Kent County Sheriff's Department investigators were still collecting evidence from the building this afternoon, hours after two Wyoming officers arrived and opened fire. No one was injured.
But we do still investigate all the circumstances surrounding it and make sure that the officers' actions were compliant with department policy and the law.
One suspect is in custody and expected to be charged with felonious assault and resisting and obstructing, both felonies. That last charge likely the result of ignoring an officer's commands.
What can you tell us about what led to this? What led to the shots being fired?
I really can't tell you much of anything.
Part of the reason, investigators from the Sheriff's Department, which handles all officer-involved shootings for Wyoming and other area departments, has yet to talk to the two officers who fired their weapons.
The officers actually need to have a couple sleep cycles. They need to have some time to gather their thoughts.
Young says that waiting period is standard protocol.
There's a substantial amount of research that shows that police officers' statements are much fuller and more accurate when the officers have had time to gather their thoughts.
Several factors play a role in those potential memory gaps. There's the stress of having to respond to a dangerous call, the stress of an immediate threat to their safety on scene as well as the public's safety, and the trauma of aiming a gun and pulling the trigger on the part of an officer.
But they also have the role of a private citizen, where they have a right to an attorney. They have a right to have legal advice as they're making these statements.
Now, once investigators talk to those two officers, the suspect, as well as any other witnesses that may come forward, they will send their report on to the county prosecutor's office. The county prosecutor will decide if firing those weapons was justified. Live tonight in Grand Rapids, Joe LaFergie, 24 Hour News 8.